quite diverse.
Okay.
There is definitely a huge shift towards the more Egyptian style, and the youngsters are really trying hard to find out more and more, and they seem to be drawn to fusion or Egyptian style of the art.
And tribal's not big in South Africa.
They like the tribal fusion more than the American tribal. Personally, I prefer the American tribal, but a lot of the girls like the more gothic look. It's almost like there's the sexuality in the tribal is where a lot of girls are at, and I think it's an age group thing, because the older girls prefer the American tribal, which is friendlier to
Which
us.
is what?
Friendlier. Smile. We smile when we do it.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
which is American tribal more. Yeah. Yes, I understand. Well, good. And so you're in South Africa and you have a school there?
Yes.
And so how long have you been teaching there?
Long time.
Long time?
I started...
Decades?
Not quite, sort of. I started teaching in 1997.
1997? And
Jewels of the Nile.
Jewels of the Nile. Great. And you told me that there's this lady that is actually she was the pioneer. What is her name?
Her name is Catherine Harrison.
Catherine Harrison.
She has her stage name at Shalimar. She started belly dancing in South Africa.
Shalimar.
Yeah. I mean, she's in her 60s, so she started many, many years ago.
Okay.
And she taught herself from a book.
Wow.
And it was more the Turkish style.
Okay. Now you were just telling Catalin here that the style that gets performed mostly in South Africa is a mix of...
A lot of the girls do a mix. What we do is a mixture of Turkish and Egyptian. Okay. But a lot of the younger up-and-coming dancers are choosing the Egyptian style of dance.
Okay.
Or fusion.
Okay.
They fuse styles. There's Cape Town. There's what we call... Cape Town is at the very bottom of the tip. And up towards the right-hand side of the coast is what they call KZN, KwaZulu-Natal. And we have Bloemfontein in the middle, right in the middle, and we have Johannesburg and Pretoria. And Cape Town is primarily the Egyptian style of dance.
Okay. All right, and there's a South African Dance Association, isn't there?
There's a couple. There's different kinds. Some of them they've set up exams for students to have their different levels.
And which one is that?
That is, they call themselves BDSA.
BDSA?
Yeah.
So belly dance South Africa or something?
They're based in KZN. The head office is in that side of the bulge.
Okay. Yes. Are there festivals in South Africa?
Yes, there are a number of girls that put up festivals of varying degrees, varying types. A lot of them have one in Cape Town. We've been to one in Cape Town last year.
Okay.
Unfortunately, what we find is that a lot of the local girls do not support each other.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. It doesn't really happen so much. There's one or two that are really well publicized, but again, it's the same old story wherever you go in the world.
Yes.
I think there's a definite change. I think there's a lot of shifting towards supporting like-minded.
Yes.
And there's different reasons for people teaching, different reasons for people doing it, becoming a student or becoming a performer. They all have different reasons. So there is definitely a divide, and I think that anyone who tries to control all of it is not going to get anywhere. So I think that there is definite separation where one supports the other, but they don't. It's not reciprocal. I think that divide is now happening, so that like-minded will stick together, and they will attract their kind of student. They will attract their kind of the whole. Yeah.
And so was Shalimar your teacher?
Many years ago. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I first started with her, then I travelled to Egypt.
Yes.
An Egyptian travel agent sponsored a trip for me to come and go and see what it was all about, and then I took back some of that information back there. I don't know if you've ever heard of Belissa in Australia.
Belissa, yes, I have.
Belissa from Australia came out to South Africa, and she gave a lot of the girls a very good grounding for the Egyptian, especially the classical style. So that opportunity was there. A lot of the girls in South Africa, because we don't earn the same like dollars or euros.
Right.
Our money is almost like the dirham here in Marrakech. So for us to travel and do anything costs a lot of money. So a lot of the girls don't travel. And you get a couple of teachers that may travel and take back the knowledge. And it's not easy for us to travel.
I see.
So a lot of the girls that do YouTube, do DVDs from overseas, and whatever comes recommended, they go with.
Are there contests in South Africa?
There is one girl who's put on a competition, but I don't believe in competitions for the art.
Yeah, I have a hard time with them also.
I don't get it either, and I think that based on what I've seen as a winner is not quite what I would call a winner in my experience of what I've seen all over the world so far.
Well, I think they kind of developed more out of a desperation for venues to dance.
And it doesn't get them venues to dance, unfortunately.
Are there other venues to dance in South Africa?
You do get a couple of restaurants which have it.
Okay.
But our primary market for bookings comes from corporate shows.
Okay.
So what we call a corporate is like a company function.
Right.
The restaurants
theme parties and that sort of thing.
Yes. A lot of the restaurant owners are not au fait with what a real performance is, as you would see as top dancer in the Middle East. So they have a lot of buskers. And very often the girls will waft between the tables and the music is playing, and it'll be Saidi music, for example, and they're just basking. They're not actually...
Basking?
Wafting.
Wafting around. They're faking it.
Well, no, to them they're doing what they do best. And their movements and their techniques are very good, but it's not with the music and it's not a show. So it's not in the center, it's not a show that they're putting
So it's an atmospheric sort of ambiance thing. Okay, all right.
So that's what we have, unfortunately, had to deal with.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Charlotte.
Thank you, Lenny.
And I hope I can get you to contribute some writing sometime to Gilded Serpent.
For sure.
And thank you for reading Gilded Serpent and supporting it. And
it's a pleasure. I forward it to everyone. You have a lot of very important and valuable information and a lot of opinions that I think a lot of the girls in the industry, wherever we are in the world, need to read. They need to get that what one person says is not law. There is many opinions and you need to take from what you want. It's not something that we can control anymore in a way that it's got to become more open-minded, but you cannot only do one thing one way and expect someone to take you seriously.
Great. Thank you, Charlotte. See you perform tonight.